Global Rights invited Tinani Initiative to participate in the Citizens Roundtable with the leadership of the House of Representatives.
It's not merely symbolic. It is a deliberate step to deepen increased civics, strengthen democratic participation, and enhance the proven leadership capacity of women in governance.
Participants interacted with the members of the House of Representatives present. They got to ask pressing questions such as
Constituency Projects. Somehow has come to stay, despite our issues with it, back and forth. But if we are going to have constituency projects, and it's not going to be politician driven, it's said to be the closest projects to the people. Under what framework is the House promoting to make sure that those projects are actually projects that come from the grassroots?
The participant was asking if members of constituencies can vote on what becomes constituency project.
No. First of all, when you elect somebody, democracy, when we move from the state of nature to governance, if you read Hobbes, Locke and others, you give some of your rights and privileges to the person you have elected. You've entrusted him to speak for you, to think for you, to act for you, to represent you, to get the dividends and bring. Is he a fool? He doesn't know what is going on. He didn't campaign. He didn't go on bad roads. He didn't know where there's no water. Don't micromanage him. Let him do his work. You have a House of Assembly. You have a local government chairman. I have 3 WhatsApp groups because one can only take so many. So when it is filled, on one federal constituency 1, on one federal constituency 2, but 70% of the people in my constituency use touchlight phone. They are not on WhatsApp. And 40 to 50% of those on WhatsApp are in Lagos, Abuja, Benin, and other places. I know this. I know them. So there has to be many other ways. You must try to come home and consult. But you have people who work for you. They can also consult. I'm not saying you should not consult, but don't micromanage the rep to the point where you want to turn me into your houseboy. It's not your houseboy, it's your representative.
Constituency projects and suggesting to representatives, I don't think it's off because it's participatory budgeting, which is best practice. I know that if we want people's voices inside the budget, it's constituency project is a good place to start. Then on the topic of budget also, I wanted to ask what the House is doing to ensure that the executive submits the proposal for 2026 budget on time, because submitting budgets right before the House goes on holiday, it also prevents participatory budgeting. So I think this is something we should take seriously so that people's voices can be heard in the budget for the next fiscal year.
Following the discussions had, we asked people how they feel about the quality of representation.
Most of us are not happy about the quality of representation, even at the local level.
Sometimes you see them, doing some buck passing. None of them is seemingly doing anything for the people, for the masses. All of us, Nigerians, have fought for this democracy. We know the expense of this democracy for us. And now, these people are now doing some buck passing instead of doing, the normal things for the people. So we are not very happy.
What do you call representation? Someone who lives in Abuja doesn't come home and then call some members of his cabal and then they distribute to 2,000. We are supposed to interface with our constituency as regularly as possible. At times, for some people, it's difficult. All constituencies are not the same. Me, I'm from Edo. To go to my constituency, security, I must vote 1 million or more. If my salary is 628,000, it is not enough to buy diesel for 1 month in my house. So it means you have to plan it properly. Because I can fly to Benin, but I can't carry 6 policemen from Abuja on the flights with the cost of airfare, carry my maid, my cook, my cleaner, my PA, my SLA. So they have to go by road. So you have to put 3 vehicles on the road. Try fueling 3 vehicles to Benin to come and pick me up. Then the Benin Auchi Uzeba Road is a kidnapper's den. If they catch me, nobody will contribute 10,000 naira. So I'm not going to risk my life because I want to go and talk to my people. But I have a very rich and robust constituency office. But beyond that, I have up to 10 people who are on monthly allowances and salaries from me. And I have another 110 people I pay every month, which include ward chairmen, to make them get involved. Have you gone through the Southeast states? The roads? Those are part. That is working. So I think the problem is not even the people who are representing us. It is we Nigerians. We're not serious people. Nothing comes. You can make an omelet without breaking an egg. Is that not correct? You don't want to sacrifice. I'm federal constituency above the same government. I'm a federal senatorial zone. Well, you see the senator. You don't see him. They don't pick us. They don't respect the test. What kind of representation is that? Our constituency project, I know, I'm a journalist. I've called National Assembly for a long time. Before coming down to Most. Let me tell you, Constituency projects it's not money, they don't give it to the senators or to the House of Members. It is projects, which, if they said social amount of money is meant for this, for the constituency, we let these people not decide. Maybe want to use it for health center, maybe want to use it for ICT, whatever. Do you know some of the constituency project started right from the time Senator Christian has not finished talking, man? That's what I'm saying. We don't have a position. So, when constituency project, sometimes they give Professor Yoba is saying that they don't give the money. We don't give the money. They will go. They know how to do it. They appoint the contractor. At the end of the day, they share the money. I understand it. Tell me how somebody will start. Is a borehole constituency? Is a project? I've done the borehole myself in my house. Give people water.
I won't condemn anybody's efforts, but I think they are trying. They are really trying. But I guess, or I would tell them to put more efforts.
There's a tendency in Nigeria today, coming from military rule, to focus excessively and almost exclusively at the federal government. This is completely wrong. There is a local government that gets allocation every month. The state government that gets allocation every month in the billions. And then there's the federal government. The legislator in Abuja gets constituency votes once a year. That amount is not up to what the least local government gets a month. Some constituencies, they get 50 million once a year because they're the same amount to all the states, divided by the number of legislators equally. So Kano and Lagos that have 40 or 30 legislators, if they get 500 million, they divide it by that, so some get 40 million. But the impression is that there's this constituency vote that members are stealing and using to buy cars. First, the money is not given to any legislator. You are told this is your constituency vote. Nominate projects depending that will benefit your people. You nominate the projects. It is against the law to nominate the contractor.
The issue of constituency projects was a hot topic at the event, and it has been throughout this year thanks to budget's research findings. Finally, the House leader had valuable advice for citizens on how to engage with their representatives.
You have the constitutional right and duty, the natural right to say, hey, Oga Rep. And by law, all of us must have constituency offices, functional, and we have a committee in the House that goes around the country to ensure that your constituency office has been established and is functioning. So if you know a rep who does not have one, write to the speaker. Write to the speaker. His phone and email and online. You know how to get these things. And say, Alhaji Abbas, this our rep no get constituency office. I've been there 10 times. It's not open. He has no staff. Because he gets resources every month to pay his staff who works in the office. Every month. So if you are sitting on your rights and your responsibilities, God will not come and do it for you. It's not God's business. It is your business. You elected him.
I think that all of us in this hall, let me not be guilty of hasty generalization. I should say about 90% of us are guilty of the issues of budget and accountability in our country. The leader has made the point, and we all know, we all make heavy weather out of the federal government, and we can't develop our nation that way. I don't know if we have two classes of citizens. The ones in Abuja and Lagos are citizens that must be talked about. But the real citizenry that are in the local communities in the states, people do not talk about them. Let's take a simple exercise. How many of us seated here looking at me know what your state budget is for road construction for the year 2025? I can hazard a guess that not one of us can say with certainty that in my state, 20 billion has been earmarked for roads, and these are the roads. And that is the first step to corruption. They only put lump sums. Many of you here have never even seen what is called a state budget. But if you come to Abuja, we have the hard copies. If you don't want the hard copy, Google it, you will see. Just put your state, you will see all the roads. I'm not saying that I'm going to do all the roads because it's dependent on funding. But at least you know that this and that road are in the budget and you can track. So if they're doing a shoddy job, you can say that this road in the Nigerian budget this year, 30 billion was earmarked. Why are you doing a what-wise road? Well, in the states, you can see 20 billion for roads. For which roads? At intervals, after a state executive council meeting, the commissioner for information will announce the governor and the state executive have approved road ABC. This, 4 billion. That's not tracking. That's not budget performance. Let them list out the roads, the amount, so you can benchmark it against what is available. So I'm saying this so that the earlier we begin to reorientate ourselves, the better for us. Because whichever project the federal government is bringing is going to be cited in a locality. It must be in a local government. It may cut across local governments, cut across states, but it's located somewhere and you can track it. Let us also begin to track our state budgets. It's your right. Demand